Hi, Doc. Good afternoon. How are you?
Well, I'm good, thanks.
Great. So this is the beginning of our Hey Doc series, topic hot flashes.
Okay.
And this is a new platform that we decided to record bits and pieces from your book, The Miracle of Bioidentical Hormones, and also the Adrenal Dominance book, both of which have been awarded 11 literary awards. Is that
Well,
correct?
that's impressive. Okay.
So these are questions that we get through social media and emails, and our customers asking questions whether or not how to, they're going through peri-menopause or menopause. And one of the biggest topics is hot flashes. And even though this can go on and on, we're going to try to keep it under 10 minutes. And our other vignettes are going to be even shorter than that, but we would like to discuss, Doc, what is your recommendation to reduce or eliminate hot flashes?
Got it.
Okay.
So let me just start off by saying a couple of things. Number one, let's talk about the menopause, because there's always a little bit of confusion about what the menopause is. Very simply, menopause, all it means is no bleeding. It's the absence of periods. But what happens during that time is that there's a drop in the 4 hormones that the ovaries produce. Now, when it comes to hot flashes, just like any other problem that comes about, the best approach is to treat the cause of the problem. Now,
Right.
almost 100% of the time, they treat hot flashes with my least favorite hormone, which is estrogen. And the problem is when people when women are put on estradiol, which is the strongest estrogen, and if they're on it for a while, when they come off, very often they get severe hot flashes. I mean, worse than they were, before they even started. So my way of thinking that if you are going to use estrogen to treat hot flashes, perhaps start with the mildest one, which is estriol. And estriol is the only estrogen that does not cause cancer. Estradiol causes 6 different cancers, and estriol is the only estrogen effective for vaginal dryness. So, okay, now when it comes to hot flashes, there are basically 2 different reasons why a woman gets hot flashes. One is the release of adrenaline. And if adrenaline is the cause of hot flashes, these are the hot flashes that come on around 2:30 in the morning, which is when adrenaline peaks. And adrenaline peaks at that time because the brain runs out of fuel and the body uses adrenaline to raise sugar levels for the brain. Okay. Now, women that do experience hot flashes due to adrenaline may also find that when during the day, if they're under stress, they'll also have hot flashes, again, due to adrenaline. Now, let's put that aside. Now, so it's pretty straightforward if the cause is adrenaline, and there's a specific way to approach problems related to adrenaline. Now, which we may talk about. Now the thing is that the other cause of hot flashes is the release of something called luteinizing hormone. Now, luteinizing hormone is put up by the pituitary, and the pituitary uses this particular hormone to try to increase the level of hormones made by the ovaries.
Okay.
So it stands to reason that if you increase the amount of hormones that the ovaries normally produce, there'll be a drop in the luteinizing hormone, which means there'll be a drop in the hot flashes. So the other approach to treating hot flashes, aside from adrenaline, is to provide some of the hormones that the ovaries produce. For example, DHEA is a hormone that the ovaries produce. Estrogen, and there again, I recommend estriol rather than estradiol. And the other thing, and progesterone also is put out by the ovaries. The one hormone that's a little bit more difficult to replace is testosterone. It's a good hormone for women because the heart muscle has more testosterone receptor sites than any other muscle, and heart attacks are like the number one cause of death in women. But in order to get testosterone, you do need a prescription for it because it's a controlled drug. Now, so what I would recommend, at least initially, is number one, determine whether it's due to adrenaline or due to luteinizing hormone. And it's pretty easy to determine which one is, or whether it's even both that's going on.
Right.
And number two is to start with progesterone, which is my favorite hormone, DHEA, and estriol.
Right.
And
now, real quick, you sell the creams, and I know that we've had this discussion before, you and I, but share it with everyone. Why you recommend cream versus oral, or even
it's an extremely important question you're asking. That what women have to realize is that oral progesterone goes straight to the liver, and once it's in the liver, it converts into a different hormone called allopregnanolone. Now, allopregnanolone is not progesterone, and it has no relationship to progesterone. And its number one side effect is sleepiness, so that's why they have women take it at night.
Right.
Now, progesterone also helps people sleep because it blocks adrenaline, but there it's a direct effect rather than a side effect of a drug like oral progesterone. So I never, under any circumstances, recommend an oral progesterone.
That's incredible information, and you just wonder, why are they continuing to sell oral progesterone if they don't, if it doesn't have a good effect?
Well,
I think it would make it so confusing for women going through menopause and going through all of the treatment options.
Well, if I can get on my, if I am allowed to get on my soapbox for a minute or so, people have to realize that doctors don't get any training in hormones.
Right.
And even though hormones control every system in the body, doctors get no training in it. And so right now, oral progesterone is the number one progesterone that is sold, even though it doesn't do anything. But that's only because of a lack of training and knowledge that doctors get. It's tragic, to be honest with you.
I mean, you can get your medical degree without knowing anything about bioidentical or hormones and how they work. And I think they have a general base knowledge, but
you can get your medical degree without having any knowledge of hormones, not knowing the cause of illness, and also knowing nothing about nutrition. Right. And so kind of makes you wonder how doctors get people well. And but when you consider that prescription drugs are the third leading cause of death, maybe they're not so good at getting people well. Anyway.
I also hear that people like the cream because you can control the dosage. You can do, apply it 4 times a day or once a day or twice a day. I mean, depending on what you're using it for, whether to block estrogen, insulin, or adrenaline, there's different dosage requirements. And so, but basically, I mean, for the most part, you require the bottle and the label says 50 milligrams a day. And so that dosage is what, 1 pump, 2 pumps, or what do you recommend? 1 in the morning, 1 at night before you go to bed?
Well, our progesterone is a 5% progesterone. Now, 5% means that each pump is 50 milligrams.
Okay.
And 50 milligrams is the exact strength you need to block adrenaline.
Okay.
So, and it's the best strength to block insulin. It's the best strength to block estrogen. So
just 1 pump a day, really, to start out with and see how you do.
Unless you have a lot of adrenaline, then I would recommend even four times a day. What's nice about progesterone is that you cannot overdose on it.
Right. I know when I first started it, I did it in the morning. Then I was having hypoglycemic problems. I followed your adrenaline diet and was feeding and eating a little bit of keto before I went to bed, and applied some in the back of my neck, and I didn't get up and go pee in the middle of the night. I slept all the way through. It was lovely. And, so I love that you have that ability with the cream. With a pill, which obviously doesn't work anyway, you don't have that option to use the benefits of progesterone with some different, you know, whether for menopause or adrenaline. So it's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, that's a great starter. If there's anything else you'd like to add, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to wrap it up with my pointing people to your website for more questions. So is there anything else you can recommend?
Well, no, what I do recommend is that people become a little bit more proactive about their own health, because
Exactly.
they can't rely on a medical system that has no interest in
Right.
getting them healthy. So
Right. So if you know, Doc does, you know, you have the Miracle of Bioidentical Hormones book in paperback, as well as a digital copy on your website, plattwellness.com. And we also provide that with the Adrenaline Dominance book, both in paperback and digital. It can be, we also have a menopause bundle that includes a bottle of progesterone, estriol, and DHEA. So it's a great starter kit. And as far as educating yourself, we have a ton of blogs. We have an FAQ tab up on the top navigation bar of our website, and which is unique to Platt Wellness, is that Doc answers your questions directly to questions@plattwellness.com, and he's more than happy. If you have any further questions, you have a direct line to Dr. Platt. So just that being said, I'm going to wrap up. We do suggest, though, that, you know, this is considered alternative medicine. We're considered, you know, we're giving you advice on the healing arts, which are not licensed in the state of California. And all clients are advised to discuss suggestions with your doctors and your healthcare providers. But again, like Doc said, educate yourself. We're here to help. And we appreciate you listening. And we hope that we took some good pearls away from our first Hey Doc series, Hot Flashes. So thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
I'll be there.
Okay. Take care.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.